A group of Chilean men flee from a San Fernando Valley home they've just allegedly burglarized.
You guys been into my house. What you guys do there? Huh? Hey! Hey!
They're part of a network of Chilean nationals that can target anyone, anywhere, exploiting U.S. immigration laws to come to Southern California, break into homes, burglarize businesses, brazenly pickpocket Americans in public, and find creative ways to bust into retail stores to clean them out.
He's using a crowbar to basically pull all the jewelry towards him.
Police have their hands full trying to track them down.
They're difficult to investigate because they have no history here in the United States.
And now, Fox 11 is pulling back the curtain on what U.S. authorities are calling burglary tourism. It's thriving here in SoCal, and its victims are left ruined.
Illegal Chileans came into my store, devastated us. Everything we've saved over 32 years was taken from us within hours.
Holy.
You're looking at the aftermath of the work of professional international criminals. A safe cut open and cleaned out. An office gutted of anything of value. Jewelry cases sprayed down with the fire extinguisher to mask fingerprints, and a hole sawed open through the roof. It's a business owner's worst nightmare, and for Brian Hassan, it's his reality.
Basically, they took our nest egg. It's gone.
Hassan is the owner of Nuggets and Carrots, a jewelry store in Laguna Niguel, a business that had $1.5 million of its inventory wiped out on the night of March 24th.
Every single thing of value was taken from the store that night.
Hassan says police told him he had been hit by an organized gang of Chilean nationals responsible for burglaries all across Southern California. Security video from this West Covina business shows their MO. They show up late at night in rented vehicles, break into electrical boxes, and start by cutting the power. Security video from Hassan's business shows the same strategy being used against him. The night before his burglary, a black SUV arrives behind his store. One by one, 3 hooded men walk towards the building's electrical box to cut the power.
And what they do is they wait till the following day, on Sunday, to see if anyone's been notified that the power has been shut off.
The men came back the next night to cut a hole in the roof, get inside, and clean the store out. But they weren't done yet. Just 3 weeks later, the power was cut at Hassan's other jewelry store in Mission Viejo. Security video showed that same black SUV, and he had a hunch the same group was about to hit him again. So he left the power off as bait, and he called the sheriff's department, telling them to be ready, that the Chileans were coming back.
At 11 o'clock p.m. that night, they showed up.
As the alarms to Hassan's business blare, this video shows Orange County deputies searching for a man who had sawed through the roof, but he was never found. However, deputies did pull over that black SUV seen on Hassan's surveillance video as it was fleeing the scene. It was a rental with paper plates, and it had 5 Chilean men inside.
And I'm thinking, I just caught my own criminals.
According to the police report, inside the SUV, deputies found black Gorilla rubber work gloves that matched gloves found on the roof of Hassan's business. Also found on the roof were a backpack with tools, a handsaw, a crowbar, a sledgehammer, metal cutting wheels, and a 15-foot-long rope tied off in increments.
The police now tell me when we meet behind the building that these 5 have been arrested.
But when Hassan got the police report weeks later, he found out the Chileans were never arrested. It says they were dropped off at a nearby Denny's at their request.
The police said, very simply, that they couldn't connect the 5 Chileans in the car to the Chilean that was on the roof cutting the holes open. They dropped them off for breakfast in the middle of the night at Denny's in a parking lot.
The police report identifies one of the released Chileans as Claudio Esteban Garrido Lizardi, seen here in a mugshot from a theft arrest in Colorado. Turns out he's been a very busy man here in Southern California. This is video of Lizardi using a crowbar to burglarize a Thousand Oaks Lululemon store back in September, months after he was let go at Denny's. Working with a female accomplice, he breaks into the store and begins clearing out its inventory, using a blanket to collect an entire wall of yoga pants and cleaning out a second wall of other assorted merchandise. He steals $75,000 worth of clothing and is later arrested by an undercover detective with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department.
Once we arrested him, we determined that he was a Chilean national And in looking at some of his history, we determined that he was committing crimes. We referred him again as a South American theft group.
The detective said Lizardi is just one of more than 20 Chileans he's recently arrested in Ventura County jurisdiction, many of which had past criminal records, and he provided numerous videos of their brazen crimes. In this video, you see a jewelry store having its ceiling cut through. Moments later, a man comes through the roof with the ski mask on. He begins moving a painting to try to block the motion sensors. He then helps more men come through the roof. A bag of tools is dropped down, and the men are off to the races.
But you're going to see this cabinet open up right here, and they're going to start taking out the watches from these display cases.
One of the men then pries into a case and uses a crowbar to pull jewelry towards him. The heist goes on for over an hour before an alarm is triggered and all of the men go running out of the store. In yet another video of a home burglary, several hooded men walk into frame and decide they don't want the camera keeping an eye on them.
They see the camera here, but they actually lift each other up to move the camera down.
And look at what happened inside this Ventura County restaurant. These two Chilean men are working together to steal a woman's wallet. Watch as this man manipulates the table so he can sit behind her. His target, the woman's purse hanging on her chair. The man keeps readjusting himself. He uses his jacket as a shield, and when the moment is right, he takes the wallet and walks out. His lookout in the number 8 jersey checks to see if the woman noticed, then makes sure to give the man a thumbs up to let him know he's clear. And this video is perhaps the most brazen of them all. Watch as a Chilean man targets a woman who is shopping with her purse in her cart. You can see the man use his shirts on a hanger to block the woman's view of her purse. He stares at her and feels around for her wallet. When he finds it, he pulls it out of her purse while she never has a clue. And what did all of these Chilean nationals involved in these crimes have in common?
They came to this country via the ESTA waiver.
The ESTA visa waiver allows citizens from 38 countries to visit the U.S. for tourism, business, or medical purposes for 90 days without the requirements of regular visas, such as comprehensive applications, interviews at a U.S. embassy, and heavier scrutiny.
I think there probably should be a little bit more vetting out.
We're letting people come in that are being trained in their countries to come and rob us over here.
For Hassan, he feels it's a slap in the face to see the same Chilean who was caught and released at his jewelry store on camera burglarizing another business months later.
They already know how to be a criminal in the United States of America, and yet we let them in with open arms. And then when we catch them, we let them go at Denny's. That's what we do in America.
And Brian Hassan did file a legal claim for damages against Orange County. That's because he feels those detained Chileans at his jewelry store should have never been let go. The Sheriff's Department told us they cannot comment on his specific case because of that pending litigation. Now, overall, we do want to point out that local law enforcement is, in fact, making a big-time dent in these Chilean crime groups, and the Chilean government is very, very aware of this problem, telling us in a statement in part, quote, "As a result of shared concern on both our country's authorities, we have accredited a police attaché to work closely with American counterparts in crime prevention. The Chilean police attaché was sent to Miami and Los Angeles to coordinate actions with local authorities related to the burglary cases in those cities," end quote.
Okay, so Hassan initially said these were illegal Chileans. They were here legally,
right? They were here legally. They came in on the ESTA waiver, which is legal.
Doing illegal actions.
Correct.
But 38 countries, what is it about Chile that has this particular problem? Because it could be from other countries as well.
That's the question everybody is wondering. There's international crime groups in every country on the planet, right?
Yeah.
The question is, why is it Chile? Nobody knows. Law enforcement can't tell us. Nobody has any clear, concrete idea of why it's specifically these Chilean citizens who are coming over here and doing this.
I covered that break-in back in March, and Hassan wiped out of everything, as you said. I mean, the wedding rings that
All
he
his customers'
lost,
jewelry, yeah.
everything gone. It's nice to see he's bounced back a little bit.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
you know, that's still something he hasn't been able to replace. He still has that hole in his ceiling, the saw, it was cut through. He said he's not going to replace it until he feels he's made whole again.
Wow, what a story. Bill, thank you so much. A lot of people had no idea, including
I
us.
didn't have any idea until I started working on it.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Thanks.